What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the 6-game NBA slate. The NBA is treating us right with these slates, man. 7 games all this week, 6 games today. We're going to keep the good times rolling and roll right on into this one here on the night. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content your boy drops over here on the channel. And if you guys are returning, you guys enjoying it, you guys are making some money, you like the takes and everything, make sure you guys hit the like button on this video. Definitely helps your boy out, gets to push out to more people, and continues to let the channel grow. Quick recap of last night. Interesting of a night. Don't got to go into big detail. We know we got all the news about Boston, all those things happen, so on and so forth. If you didn't play Peyton Pritchard, like myself, you did not play Peyton, and you went with the Jaylen Brown whole team to itself, so on and so forth, figure Peyton would have a nice day. You know, a 35 fantasy point type night, 35 fantasy point night. Did not expect break the slate Peyton Pritchard 40 whatever new career high Peyton Pritchard. So hey, and then Derek White dropped 40 something himself. It's just like, that shit was crazy. Floor game from the Joker. SGA pops off again in a great spot once again. Chet Holmgren got ruled out. I mean, it was. And we got pretty much the same thing again today with all these Q tags, all these injuries and stuff like that once again on the slate. But it's just, this is the wild west right now of the NBA. This is when shit gets crazy. And if you could figure it out, you got it good. You good. You cashing, you making that money. I'm gonna be very honest. I did not cash last night. Last night was not a cashable night for myself. Of course, Sam Hauser didn't have the best night out there. I mean, who needs Sam Hauser to do anything when you got Peyton Pritchard popping off for what he did and Aaron Derek White? I had Jaylen Brown right here. He just foul trouble and then just could not make any shots. Legit blew my double up parlay that I have for today, which freaking that cashed. But Jaylen Brown could not go out there and get me. I'm very upset about this. 2 more points. Just need him for 20. I took a chance. Well, it wasn't even a chance. I figured that Jaylen was in a good spot. Liked the spot. Jaylen Brown, 20 points. Once I saw JT was ruled out, everyone else was out, all that stuff, boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh, we read it right. We got the tea leaves correct. This dude, and I mean, came back in, played 40 minutes. 40 minutes. The Portland Trailblazers made it close, and you couldn't crack 20 with all them shots to yourself. That was frustrating all in its own, but hey, like I said, you know, I got to get a shirt that mades life is a gamble or it's gambling. Like that's just what it is at this point. You know, it is what it is. Whatever. We move on. Bankroll management. That's why it is important in everyday life and also especially when you are gambling and you're doing these things right here. But we're going to keep the good times rolling. We're going to roll on over. You know, that's why this is pretty much every day. We can find something to get into, stuff to get. I've already posted a lot of my content for today over on the Patreon and over here on the YouTube. If you guys are looking for the content and everything, 2 spots you can find it. 1, check down the description below or right there next to the subscription button. You'll see the membership tab. Membership tab has all of my content is posted up over there for you. That includes my notes, my my players that I'm on for the day, my prop plays, the alt line. I'm also posting shit pick, price pick plays as well. My parlays, whenever I get those posted, I'll get that up later on today. I'll have a couple of parlays going for today. All that stuff is posted, my content over there. If you're looking for not only myself but BK as well, check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. The Patreon is right there. You can sign up for both of those right there. Not a bad price for either or, and definitely you'll be able to make some money and get it back for what we give out and what we do is definitely quite a bit. So diving into today's slate, we of course have the news. Already got a little bit of news from Orlando that Cole Anthony did participate in practice, but who cares because Santi Aldama participated in practice yesterday and then got ruled out. So Cole Anthony dealing with a toe injury, but in a decent spot going up against the Chicago Bulls. He still owes me money. That is still his name. Cole owes me money. Anthony probably going to fade, not play once again, but he's there. On the flip side of things, Chicago Bulls, we're seeing the same players that are questionable to play again today. Lonzo Ball, Josh Giddey, Kevin Huerter, all those guys are questionable if they are going to actually play tonight. Vucevic is already doubtful to play, so if Giddey plays, we already know those boards, everything right there is going to be good and up in the air for him. Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton came out on the injury report yesterday. Mathurin is still game time decision as well. Hopefully we get that news because, of course, a 247.5 total 3-point spread. You already know this is probably going to be the game stack of the night. Definitely, I will wait until I get that news about Halliburton because because I do want to make a same game parlay for this game because it should be fast paced, back and forth. Definitely some spots where we can eat from Siakam, Turner, Tyrese, even Nembhard. All those guys right there make for decent parlay pieces you can get to. And then on the flip side of things, Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, was Ricochet has been able to do lately. Okongwu, you could definitely get some decent spots to be able to play all those guys into a pretty nice parlay and get that right there. Philly taking on Boston. Boston on the back end of back-to-back. Boston, I would expect the players that sat yesterday to play today, even though you technically don't need them. And I kind of would imagine 40 minutes for Jaylen Brown yesterday means he's probably not playing today. That's just my take. That's what I see. I don't see a reason you played 40 minutes last night. You really didn't need you because Peyton Pritchard and Derek White carried the load. And you were questionable yesterday. I don't see him playing today. I really don't. That's just my tea leaves that I have. I expect JT, KP to be back. Holiday, that's the one that's really up in the air in regards to him playing, but he could possibly be back as well. So Sam Hauser might get another start, and who knows? That might not matter again here in the spot. On the Philly side, Paul George, he's missed the last couple of games. Definitely check on him because, I mean, Philly, they're in tank mode. Doesn't matter. We're seeing Quentin Grimes starting at the point guard spot. Kelly O, he's out there. Yabusele, Andre Drummond, and I forgot who they started as that other spot when P missed. I need to go look at that. Golden State Warriors taking on the Brooklyn Shitters. No news for the Golden State Warriors. They're still on their road trip. They've been on the road for quite some time over these last couple games. 10.5 point spread over here in favor of the Warriors. Of course, they should be able to dominate, but the Brooklyn Shitters actually keep games pretty close. Cam Thomas, those minutes are ticking up, looking pretty good out there. Cam Johnson, he's balling. D'Lo, he's back, playing at least about 25-ish minutes out there. This game could actually be a little bit closer than what we think it would be. Especially, I didn't expect that New York Knicks game versus the Golden State Warriors to be close, but it was. Houston Rockets taking on the Pelicans. Freddie V, he's still going to be out. Amen Thompson, he's going to get that point guard treatment over there. BJ Boston is out for the Pelicans. Other than that, everybody's good to go. 231 total, high total, 5-point spread in favor of the Houston Rockets. Another stackable game that I do like for parlay pieces. So if you take both of these games right here, you can find some decent pieces, which you should be able to. I really like that one today. And then the last one. So as you guys can see, I'm probably going to have a pretty nice parlay going up for today. The New York Knickerbockers taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. OG Anunoby, game time decision. Karl-Anthony Towns, he's back and expect to play. Shout out to Towns and his family. I know he was dealing with a personal issue. I seen something about Jordan Woods. He posted about fuck cancer. I know her father passed away from cancer. Not sure if it's the anniversary or something in regards to that, why she posted that and whatnot. But if someone else has cancer in the family or something like that, then definitely thoughts and prayers and stuff goes out to them out there. Cancer is not something to fuck with and all that other stuff. I myself lost a grandmother to cancer, so definitely feel in regards to that. So hopefully Towns' head is going to be able to be in it. Really hope it's not Woods having cancer. That would be pretty shitty, your girl getting cancer. But, you know, we apparently got technology and stuff to be able to help beat it. But the rich and famous, they're the ones that actually can get it and deal with that shit. But OG, game time decision. Hopefully he plays today. If he doesn't, I would imagine we probably see Precious Achiuwa slid into the starting lineup right there for him because we've seen it already before. Los Angeles Lakers, all the guys that were questionable and all the stuff that they've had leading up to this, expect for them all to be back except for Rui Hachimura. We will still get the Dorian Finney-Smith in the starting lineup, which really kind of doesn't matter because Lakers, they go small anyway. Not too sure. Well, they still can because they went small even going up against the Denver Nuggets and blitzed the hell out of the Joker, which really made him non-existent. Kind of think it might be the same thing for Karl-Anthony Towns here in the spot. Head on over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. Speaking of checking the links down in the description below, if you guys have not done your taxes yet, definitely I got a link down there for a spot that I use, Tax Daddy. Check them out right there. Definitely helped me with my refund this year and all the stuff I had to claim on my taxes. Made sense and also got me a lot more money back than what I was expecting to get. So definitely check. Well, saved me some money from money that I would have ended up owing if I would have did it myself, because normally I file my own, do TurboTax and stuff like that. Nah, not this year. Not with the numbers and stuff I was trying to crunch and it wasn't working out. So check them out right there, Tax Daddy. Definitely for your tax solutions. If you guys haven't filed yet, you should, especially if you are a DFS gambler and player. Keep all those receipts and things like that. It helps you out in the long run. Looking at the slate, starting out, we got the Chicago Bulls taking on Orlando. Again, for the Bulls, we do need to get that news for if Giddey, Lonzo are going to be back and Kevin Huerter, because if they don't, we will see another rotation like what we did last time, where it's going to be the Kobe White and company show out there. The matchup going up against the Orlando Magic, they are a much better defensive team than what the, well, technically the Cavs are considered one of the better defensive teams as well. But seeing what they were able to do going up against the Cavs, They're NBA plays for a reason. So I'm not going to say that they will struggle here in the spot. Granted, it should be a slower pace because Orlando does play at one of the slower paces in the league. But still, the Bulls, if it's Kobe White and company, then, I mean, hey, we know we're going to, again, Kobe White, Zach Collins, Buzelis, Trey Jones, he will get the start again. And then off the bench, THT, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Jalen Smith, who went out there and had a pretty great game versus the Cavs. 18 minutes, 31.25 fantasy points. That is uber efficient for what that dude went out there and did. Crazy to me in my eyes. But I'm going to go on the assumption that they've missed quite some time. I think Giddey should be back here for the spot. He's currently questionable, quadriceps or whatever going on for him. So hopefully he's back. 8,500. That is a little touch and go for Giddey. The matchup is, of course, not the prettiest on paper and everything, but going up against the Orlando Magic early this season, 31 minutes, he dropped 46 fantasy points. Second game, he only played 23 minutes. They got the breaks beat off of them 133 to 119. He only dropped 28 fantasy points, but still putting up over 8 fantasy point per minute versus this Orlando squad. 8,500 makes for a more than likely lower owned than the Trae Young, than the Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, Amen Thompson. You get the idea of where I'm going to with this. Giddey, interesting play right there. Outside of Giddey, Zach Collins, of course, I mean, the dude's been balling out in the starting lineup, looking very good, keeps himself out of foul trouble. He plays very well, a really great fantasy point per minute producer. 6,500. I don't mind getting up to that price once again right there. And then my boy Buzelis, if everyone else misses, Buzelis is going to go out there and he's going to chuck. He's going to take those shots. If he can knock down those threes, that'd be even better. Very productive in the peripheral department, everything else that he did. Don't mind going over there to that. He's going to have his hands full trying to deal with Paolo Banchero over there, because Paolo probably will get his behind into foul trouble and be able to get himself to the line quite a bit here in this spot. Wouldn't mind Paolo's free throws if you are looking for something like that. On the flip side of things, we already know that the Chicago Bulls, they are a crappy defensive team when you look at it on paper, but still, they are found a way to keep games close, at least close enough. If Paolo can go out here and pay this off, I do like Paolo here at the 8,900 price tag. He's coming on over the last several games. 73.5 fantasy points, scored 19 points in that fourth quarter versus the Toronto Raptors. Going up against the Chicago Bulls this season, he's only played in 1 out of the 2 games. He dropped 44 fantasy points in 37 minutes. Opposing power forward so far on the season have actually played decent. Siakam dropped 36. Scotty Barnes dropped 47. Kawhi Leonard 43. So some decent numbers right there at the 4 spot for these guys. We already know over here for the Magic, it's the main 2 contributors over here. It's Paolo, it's France. Both of them priced 300 apart. I don't mind either one of these guys. France, he's in a pretty good spot as well. I know Paolo had the big game, but France has been pretty consistent, getting us at least 30-ish fantasy points, and don't mind coming down for the savings to France right here, because one of these 2 guys are going to have to pop off. One of them are going to have a big game. One of them is going to do everything out there for the squad. So you're pretty safe going with either one of these guys in this spot. If Cole owes me money, Anthony does play today. DVP says, hey, this is a really great spot. Cole Anthony should be able to go out here, ball out, have a good day, put up a little something. He's only played off the bench versus the Chicago Bulls this season. Dropped 11 fantasy points in 11 minutes when he played them. But opposing point guards, Darius Garland, he dropped 37 fantasy points. Tyrese Halliburton, 49. Iman Quickly, 37. James Harden, 46. So the last couple of point guards versus the Chicago Bulls have played very well. Cole Anthony, if I take you off my ban list and I decide to play you today, please do not let me down. We'll know if he's going to be in or not because it is the first game of the slate. Definitely you can't go there. If he's going to be out, we will or should see either Corey Joseph, because I know he got the start last time, played 26 minutes, 19.25 fantasy points. I don't mind going to Corey Joseph if he gets the start. If they hold out Cole Anthony again and Corey Joseph is going to play, I would rather play Cole Anthony. I promise you, I would rather play him. They're not playing starting Anthony Black. Black is still going to be out there, backup point guard, role in minutes. That's cool. That's standing all. But I will play Corey Joseph if he does get to start and Cole is out. Wendell Carter Jr. is going up against his former team. This is, of course, another spot where we have seen opposing centers be able to go out there and crush, dominate, destroy, smack him up. Jared Allen just dropped 55.75 fantasy points versus his team. Wendell Carter Jr. in games before versus them, granted, he started the first 2 games versus them, 18 minutes in the second game, only 15 fantasy points, but the first game, 28 minutes, 29 fantasy points. He's definitely not, of course, having sets called for him and things like that. Gets a lot of putbacks, things of that nature, maybe using pick and roll or something of that sort, but still, it's his former team. Definitely do think that he can put up some decent numbers if he decides he wants to try. If they do get him involved, it is a good spot to go to him. I do not mind going here to Wendell Carter Jr. Makes for an interesting value play at the center spot. If you don't want to play Zach Collins, instead you want to go here, I can definitely see where you can do that. If not, it's okay. Over on the Indiana Pacers, of course, we have to get the Halliburton news. If Hallie is out, then that kind of sucks, but we know we're going to see Nembhard move up to the point guard spot. Neesmith, he'll get shifted up, and depending on who they actually start, that'll dictate if Bennett Mathurin is back. If Mathurin's not good to go, maybe we will see Shepard. We have seen Shepard get slid into the starting lineup before a couple of times, so that could possibly be a factor, but of course that will benefit and boost a lot of people off the bench. Obi Top Dog being one of them, TJ McConnell, of course, and then everyone else in the starting lineup. Siakam would get a boost here in the spot, Miles Turner as well. But I'm going under the assumption that Halliburton plays. We have seen him pop up on the injury report before for the hip a couple of times, and Hallie has just been on one over the last several games. Of course, fast-paced game, fast-paced team, a great spot for him to be able to go out there and cook versus the Hawks so far this season. One game, 35 minutes, 42 fantasy points. I like it. The upside is there. Opposing point guards, they have been cooking. Of course, we just saw Dame drop 39 fantasy points in 37 minutes. Luke Kennard, when he got the start versus them, 35 minutes, 35 fantasy points. SGA, 35 minutes, 47, and then Tyler Hero, 50 fantasy points. So as you can see, opposing point guards, they cook. Definitely those that can get the assist, play make, and he's averaging pretty much double-digit assist right now. One of my favorite plays over on PrizePicks today, and this is contending on him playing. You got two really great playmaking point guards in Halliburton and Trae Young going up against each other. Both of them pretty much are averaging double-digit assists over the last several games. Potential assists, all that stuff is very high for both of them. I like the 21.5 assist combo that they have for both these guys over on PrizePicks. As you can see, your boy having to dip into his PrizePicks bag a little bit. So hopefully you guys are taking these notes and you're getting the stuff down. So definitely check that out. I also do like the Trae Young 8.5 assist prop. That is a goblin that went to my goblin play for today. And then also you can take his 11 assist prop as well. That's a regular straight line over on the books. Of course, taking for 10 assists. That would be for Trae Young. Halliburton, you can do the same thing with that right there. I really don't see them struggling to play, make, and do what they do. Both of these teams just are ridiculously fast. Last time Hallie had 9 assists in this matchup, so 10 assists, that's definitely right there in the realm of what he can get. Got them both projected for roughly around 12 assists here on today, so the upside is there. Outside of that, Nembhard, who knew that he can go out there and have a nice 2 block, 4 steal game with only 5.6 rebounds, 6 assists, and still pop for 33 fantasy points? That is crazy. At 5K, of course, we have to consider him here in the spot. I like it. Dyson Daniels should be trying to mess with Tyrese Halliburton. That will open up more playmaking duties and ball handling duties for Nembhard, but either way, I don't think it's going to matter. Dyson Daniels, you are a very good defender, but teams, man, they know how to scheme, they know how to play, and they're gonna do what they got to do in order to get it. Nembhard, 5K, good value spot right there. Neesmith, the price is slowly ticking up on him, but he has been pretty consistent, especially with Mathurin being out of the line. If Mathurin is back, that might take a little bit of a hit to Neesmith, especially minutes wise, if he does pick up ticky-tacky fouls and things of that nature, but he has been on one. We just need that 3 ball to really actually start falling, because he can go out there and give us a 30 plus fantasy point outing. 24.75 in the last game, 4,800. I don't mind going there to him as a potential play. Definitely do see the upside and potential. And then of course Miles Turner, who has been on one over his last several games as well, pretty consistent, scoring over 30 fantasy points. Like the upside for him here versus the Atlanta Hawks. Versus the Hawks earlier this season, 34 minutes, 29 fantasy points. I think he can still stay consistent like what he's been doing for us, and I don't mind going there. Thomas Bryant would be someone I could take a sprinkle of. He did see a boost in a couple of minutes last game, but not something I'm going to actually chase and focus on. Over on the flip side, Trae Young, like I said, we do expect for him to play. Sitting at the 9.8 price tag, definitely would be up there in regards to a stud that we can get to. Again, total is nice. Everything is there. Definitely wouldn't mind getting up here to Trae Young if it came down to it, but you can make the swap and go with your boy Dyson Daniels, who we know has that steal upside, can play make quite a bit, and has been scoring the ball pretty decently over his last several games. Pretty safe in regards to getting at least 25 up to 30 plus fantasy points from him. I do like the potential of his ceiling in this matchup and spot. Going up against the Indiana Pacers earlier this season, he played 36 minutes, dropped 37 fantasy points in that game, finished with 4 rebounds, a block, 23 points, a steal, and 4 assists. So pretty on par with what he's doing right now. Definitely room for a little bit more. This was back on February the 1st when he did that, so that was of course still without Jalen Johnson in that game as well. So I do like the upside for him here. Outside of that, Neko Kongwu could be someone you can mess with. Zach Ricochet would be a GPP option at that 4.4 price tag. This would be coming up off of your Aaron Neesmith play right there, just because he's been putting up some decent numbers. I like this spot as an interesting buy low. Like, no one's probably going to think to get there if you want to get just a sneaky piece from this game. Risky piece, because we can see he has a horrible floor right around 6.75 fantasy points. He can go out there and get a stat, or he can explode for a 40 plus fantasy point outing, which I don't mind. Versus the Pacers earlier this season, he played 27 minutes and dropped 29. Wait, correction. He played 29 minutes, dropped 27 fantasy points in that game. Went out there and had 17 actual points. So fast-paced game that might actually be something that can help him exceed. We can see what he did going up against Memphis, dropped 39.75. OKC, we're playing pretty fast, but we're a decent defense, but we're playing pretty fast slightly. 23.75 fantasy points. Miami, we know that they do typically play at a much slower pace than everyone else. Versus Detroit, they're middle of the pack in regards to pace and everything. 41 fantasy points in that game in 31 minutes. Really great game for him there. Orlando, their pace is it's in the middle, but 34 fantasy points. New York Knicks, tougher defense, 24. Orlando again. Washington Wizards, 21 in 24 minutes. So the upside is definitely there for him as a possible play that can pop. I really do like him. He's sticking out to me as like this could be one of those buy low spots that we can get him at. Opposing small forwards. Now, these are low usage small forwards right here. Dylan Brooks, 23 fantasy points. Jaime Jaquez, 19 fantasy points in only 15 minutes. Michael Porter Jr. in 33 minutes dropped 38.75 fantasy points. So it's in a realm of possibility for what we can actually get from him. Outside of that, I would say, of course, you look towards your Trey Mann, your Georges Niang, but to me, he's getting the minutes off the bench. He's playing a shit ton of time out there. Caris LeVert at 5,300. If you're going to go out there and play over 25 minutes and you're still going to be pretty consistent in what you're giving us, this is a great spot for you here versus the Pacers earlier this season. 27 minutes, he dropped 30 fantasy points. That was, of course, when he was playing on the Cavs. I like the upside. Love it. I'm pretty sure, wasn't he a Pacer at one point in time as well? Pretty sure he was. Philly taking on Boston, of course, still without Tyrese Maxey, no Joel Embiid, Paul George game time decision. If playoff P is going to be ruled out, even if he's in, I don't like the spot. I actually like all unders for Paul George today, just because one, Philly has nothing to play for. Why is Paul going to come out here and even give forth any effort, play, and do anything? I don't see a need or a point for him to do any. Yeah, I just don't. Yes, he can try, but everything's been in the dumpster. And of course, if Tatum and company are actually playing, he's going to be the defensive focus while everyone else is just out there. Do what you do. Instead, of course, we will focus on Kelly Oubre Jr., Quentin Grimes, Andre Drummond, Yabusele, Jared Butler, Lonnie Walker. That would be where I want to go there. Doesn't make any sense to me, but Lonnie Walker, he played like, I think 3 or 4 first half minutes. It was some weird minute rotation for him in the first half, but definitely got those minutes in the second half. Would love to see a little bit more from Lonnie. If Paul misses, I think the upside could be there for Lonnie to hopefully get the start. I would hope that he can get the start out here, man. He should be starting. But Quentin Grimes at the point guard spot, and looks like he's taking all the shots. He's Maxey pretty much playing pretty well. Again, I don't mind playing guards, especially point guards, shooting guards versus the Boston Celtics. We saw last night Anthony Simons dropped 30 points versus them. If you want to go out on a whim, take like a crazy ass parlay, take Quentin Grimes to 30 points. I mean, he's having to go out there and actually score and do quite a bit for them. He dropped 30 actual points versus the Minnesota Timberpups last time out. We know he could drop 44, which is crazy. But if that 3 ball is falling, he's playmaking, he's getting in there, getting to the line, just doing what he has to do. You got Boston back in the back-to-back. Yes, they rest a ton of players, but Boston does sometimes play down to the competition. Example, yesterday versus Portland. I know they've been playing much better, but still, definitely room for a possible upside play right there. Kelly Oubre Jr., he has played decent going up against Boston. One game where he did drop over 40 fantasy points, so you definitely can't mess with that. But Quentin Grimes, I do like the upside for him here, and I don't mind taking that. Andre Big Drum Dog, gonna have to be pulled out of the paint dealing with Kristaps Porzingis. Not really too interested in going there to Andre Drummond. You can mess with that if you want to, but I will have interest in Yabusele, especially if Drummond does end up getting played off the floor. We could see a lot more minutes and run for Yabusele at 5,100. I could take that all day. Over on the Boston Celtics side of things, if you want to chase the Peyton Pritchard game, go ahead, chase it. But we are a day late and $1 short in chasing that right there. Again, I expect Jaylen Brown to possibly be rested here. I'm going to still, of course, go with my stud, Jason Tatum. I will play Jason Tatum. I will play Kristaps Porzingis. If Derek White does play today and he's out there, I don't mind going to Derek White once again. Those would be the players I would get to and possibly play. Holiday, he's been missing 3 straight games due to a finger injury that he's been dealing with. So he has an actual legit injury, unlike everybody else that was pretty much just rested, even though, you know, they got to come up with some tags in order to give it to him and everything and whatnot. But I wouldn't mind just playing JT, Kristaps, Derek White. Now, if we get Kristaps Porzingis is out, Drew Holiday's still going to be out, and it's only going to be Jason Tatum and Brown gets ruled out, then yeah, we are going to have to focus quite a bit onto Peyton Pritchard again. 43 minutes last night, man. How many minutes are in an NBA game? 48. He played majority of the damn game. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. 43 actual, 69 fantasy points. I'm not gonna chase that. I'm not gonna chase it. I'm not gonna say he can't go out there and do it, but I'm not gonna chase it. I'm not gonna be one of those. I'll focus on JT as my main Celtic play over there. Sam Hauser, he definitely does need to get us a get back because he played a pretty putrid when he was out there, but definitely you can mess with that if you want to. But other than that, nah, I'm okay on that game. I'm okay. Golden State Warriors taking on the Brooklyn Shitters. Steph Curry has been Steph Curry. He's been playing amazing on this road streak. Started out the game pretty slow in the first half versus the Knicks, but got it going on. 55 fantasy points, 28 actual points, 9 assists. Those assist numbers have actually been up, and especially on games that he's been getting rest. Those assists, they're looking pretty good. If they still got Curry sitting at like 5.5 assists over on Prize Picks or any of the sites you can get it on, I don't mind taking the over on that. Definitely 5.5. I know I took his Goblin for 4.5. That's been a pretty decent, consistent play for him to go out there and get me about 5 assists. It's been pretty steady. 4 out of his last 5 games, he's been able to hit that, especially with just the injection of Jimmy Butler. It's been phenomenal and great over here for them. I don't mind it. Now, I will say, opposing point guards going up against the Brooklyn Shitters, they've been kind of somewhat kept in check. Chris Paul dropped 27 fantasy points. Cade Cunningham in 32 minutes dropped 39. Anthony Simons 28. SGA 45, Jordan Poole 35. So mixing pot in regards to what we can get. It is definitely going up against the D-Lo defense. So possibly it's Steph Curry, the babyface assassin. He can go out there and do what he got to do and have a good day. I will say I don't mind instead going down here to Podominski at 5,800. The kid has just been playing, of course, out of his mind. Knocked down his 3-ball, can play pretty good defense, rebounding the ball very well, getting those assists, things like that. One of my like safe spots for a parlay, I typically would take him for 4 rebounds because he's a very good rebounding guard when he's out there, and we know if they decide they want to run small, put Green at the 5. It's pretty much everyone has to rebound, gang rebounding out there, Pulse, for them. So definitely don't mind going to Podominski at that 5,800 price tag. I like the upside for him here at that spot. And then Draymond Green, I could see this being a spot where they go small, try to run Claxton off the floor or something like that. Opposing centers have played pretty well. We know he is going to start out there at that spot. Bismack Biyombo dropped 41.5 going up against the Brooklyn Shitters. Jalen Duren dropped 50. Donovan Clingan in 28 minutes dropped 28 fantasy points. Rashawn Holmes in 31 minutes dropped 31. Draymond Green, he's pretty active. We know that he has triple-double upside. Almost had it last game out there. 8 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds, 34.75 fantasy points. Long as he keeps himself from getting into foul trouble, getting teed up, or getting ejected, tossed out of a game, he can go out there and give us a pretty good day. If I got to choose between Draymond Green and Podominski, just do because they are so close in price. Green is sitting at 6K. Pod is sitting at that 5.8. I would go with Pod over Draymond Green just because I could definitely see him getting kicked out of this game. Jimmy Butler at 79. I don't see them needing to play Jimmy here too heavy or having to lean on him. Very much a GPP option play, 7,900. I don't see myself having to get there. I don't really feel like this is a Jimmy game that I need to get to, so I wouldn't be going there. Quentin Post definitely in play if you think the Warriors can blow them out. Post, he goes out there, kind of funny, and I heard the broadcaster say it. Unlike his name, he does not play in the post, which is very true. Definitely a GPP option, explosive upside for him if he gets a shot to fall. Same thing for Buddy Hield as well. On the flip side of things, looking at the Brooklyn Shitters over here for them, Cam Thomas, he's back. His minutes got bumped up to 26 last game, so maybe can we get 30? Shooters can shoot. And I don't mind looking at Cam as a possible GPP option, could possibly be lower owned. We saw OG Anunoby go out there and just light him up last game. Not going to say that Cam Thomas is OG, but I mean, the dude legit takes a ton of threes, a ton. If he's going to be jacking up double-digit 3-point attempts, I definitely do not mind taking him as a potential play for me here in the spot. Outside of Cam Thomas, really still not on the D-Lo train just because he's still capped at right around 25, 26 minutes. Have not seen him play close to 30. Would be very much a GPP option. If I have to choose between D-Lo and Cole Anthony, I'll play D'Angelo Russell. I'll play D'Angelo Russell if it comes down to it. Outside of that, Claxton would be the only other person I really could endorse. 32 minutes versus San Antonio Spurs, 23.75 fantasy points. But opposing centers going up against the Warriors, they've been hit or miss, having pretty decent games. Nick Claxton definitely has a double-double upside. Again, just has to be able to go out there and get his putbacks, things like that. And he could possibly pay off having a decent game for us out here in the spot. Houston Rockets taking on the Pelicans. Of course, there's several players that you want to get to from this game, and several of them look really good. The main guys, of course, no Freddie V. Şengün looks good. Amen Thompson looks good. Jalen Green looks good. Jabari Smith Jr. Fuck that guy. So all three of those guys right there will be the main ones I want to get to. And then off the bench, Tari Eason, who is playing a ton of minutes off the bench. First guy off the bench, looking very good. His lines right now over on PrizePicks, they have him at 11.5 for his points. If they drop his fantasy points and it's under 20 or sitting right around 20, I would take both of those right there. This matchup is great. The pace is good. We should definitely be able to see him go out here and be able to deliver. I like him as a possible play. Not necessarily like a jamming. He's sitting at 5'5". That's a little bit like, damn, for a bench player, but he can go out here and play roughly about 25 minutes. We could see a world where Jabari gets himself in foul trouble trying to go out there and guard Jimmy or Kelly or something like that, and Tari comes in. Hopefully Tari doesn't get himself in foul trouble, but I do think he would be much better suited to trying to guard the freight train in Zion. Outside of that, Jalen Green has played amazing versus the Pelicans so far this season. Coming off of back-to-back down games for what I would consider for Jalen Green, this is a spot where he can actually go ahead and pop and have a big one. Scored very well, 30 points in both games versus the Pelicans with 34 and 30 actual points. 3 assists, 2 assists and 1, 6 rebounds, 2 rebounds, but definitely just being able to get that scoring going. We know opposing two guards, they do tend to go out here and be able to have good games. Sensabaugh versus them, 30.5 fantasy points. Devin Booker, 33 in the second game, 61, 25 in the first game. De'Aaron Fox, 41 fantasy points. Zach LaVine, 58 fantasy points. So the upside is definitely there. Again, Amen Thompson, fast-paced game, fast-paced team. Fast-paced game, fast-paced team. Same thing, whatever. But he's going to play the minutes. No Freddie V. Ball will be in his hands. He can rebound. I like it for 8 rebounds here in the spot. Again, that was the play that I said the same thing going up against the Pacers, taking for a double-double as well. Don't mind either one of those, but we can see that assist upside being there for him as well. Versus the Pelicans, he started one game, played off the bench in the first game. Game that he started, 31 minutes, 36 fantasy points in that game. Went out there, he had 10 rebounds, 5 blocks, 9 points, 1 steal, 3 assists. I'm pretty sure Fred played in that game right there, so that might be why that line looks the way that it looks in the game versus the Pelicans. Yeah, Fred VanVleet played in that first game. This is without Freddie V. This game today will be without Freddie V, of course. 8,700. I like the price tag. Don't mind it, especially just because of everything that should be in this game. Then, of course, Shane Goat himself, opposing centers versus the Pelicans. I don't have to go too deep into this. I don't have to explain it too much to you. You already know what time it is. It's just play the Goat. Play Shane Goat. The Pelicans taking on the Houston Rock. Jesus Christ. The Pelicans taking on the Houston's on the flip side. Zion is Zion. 9,200, I will admit, is a bit much for Zion and what should be a tough matchup. But versus the Lakers in 26 minutes, he dropped 55 fucking fantasy points, man. I love his PRA line today. I think it's sitting at like 34, 35 PRA. I'm taking the over on that because he's been just destroying this over his last 5 games. Like it's been easy day for him to go out there and be able to do this. I will play that once again here. His RA would be something I would have interest in once again, just because he possibly can go out here and deliver that in the time frame that he's going to be on the court. Definitely do have some interest. But Zion, man, if they just unleash him for 30 plus minutes, hopefully the game stays close enough where we can see no limit Zion. That'll be great. 9,200 makes you have to scratch your head and decide. If I got to choose between Şengün and Zion, I will take Şengün for the safety, Zion for the ceiling upside potential. Outside of that, of course, Trey Murphy will be someone that we can consider and play. Probably going to be dealing with... He might have to actually deal with the Amen Thompson defense, but don't mind Trey Murphy. We know if he gets hot from 3 or anything like that, he'll be able to put up a good day. All right there. Don't mind getting him as the pivot coming down off of Zion. And then Kelly Olynyk, long as he's starting 5,900, staying in between that, underneath that 6'5" price tag. I definitely do like him for the upside. The game stays close. We know he's very active in regards to his peripheral stats, along with what he can do regularly on the floor. I don't mind going there. Hawkins has been playing pretty well over his last several games. That's why he's been getting the minutes. Definitely a value option you can go to at that 4,600 price tag. You can go ahead and take a stab and take a chance at that. And then you got to wait 2 hours for the late night hammer and the New York Knicks taking on the Los Angeles Fakers. And yes, I said Fakers. They still ain't played no real team. The Knicks, if you want to count them as a real team, go ahead. Whatever. They still ain't played no real team. All right. So on the Knicks side of things, Karl-Anthony Towns, on paper, this should be a good matchup. But the Lakers, for some reason, have the #1 defense. They're playing amazing. They're playing great defense out there. So Towns, I think he would get the Joker defense out here, like what they did, blitzing the Joker, making him get rid of the ball, things like that. So I'm not too high on Karl-Anthony Towns at that 9.9 price tag. I would much rather go ahead and play Şengün when it comes down to it. Jalen Brunson, definitely at 9.1 price tag. I can mess with that, but I have Halliburton, I have Trae Young on the slate, so I can see him as a pivot off of those two, where they're going to need him, especially if Towns is dealing with all the pressure and everything that he should have. to deal with here in the spot. I could definitely see a world where we could get a scoring outburst from Jalen Brunson, like what he has done in the past, especially games whenever Towns isn't out there. We did see in a game where they were blitzing Joker, Jamal Murray, 37 minutes, he dropped 36 fantasy points in that game. So the upside possibly could be there. Now, outside of that, Josh Hart at 8,200. I know he let down in this last game. Really hasn't given us anything to write home about, but it's something about playing the Lakers that he loves playing the Lakers. He does. He likes playing the Lakers. In games that he starts, he's typically put up at least over 35 fantasy points versus the Lakers throughout his career. Last time, earlier this season, this was on February the 1st. He played 38 minutes. He dropped 66 fantasy points versus the Lakers, went out there, and he had a triple-double. Not going to say he's going to have a triple-double here, but if OG Anunoby misses as well, Josh Hart definitely would be a player I would go to. Don't mind getting there. Mikal Bridges, someone's going to have to score. We could definitely mess with that. Not going to go to anything else over here on the Knicks. Really, it's going to be the main guys or nothing else. Josh Hart would be my favorite one out of all of them. It's just, This is definitely They could have left this game off the slate, just gave us a 5-game slate if we're being honest. Los Angeles Lakers on their side, Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves, boom, boom, boom. You want to play and mess with all those right there. Dalton Knecht, he's still getting minutes, of course, off the bench. He's going to continue to get minutes. Of course, with Austin Reeves coming back, his minutes should probably tick back down to low 20s, not being in that mid-tier high 20 minutes range. So that's probably what we'll see right there. LeBron, he got some injections or something going because you shouldn't still be playing this good. I don't have to talk about the GOAT. Luka, 11-2. If you got to decide, I mean, Luka should be lower owned just because 11-2 for Luka in the spot. I don't see myself getting up there to him. Yes, he has triple-double upside, but LeBron's still putting up 50-plus fantasy points out there playing with you. So I would, of course, rather play LeBron when it comes down to it. Austin Reeves is now going to be back as well. He was playing pretty good before he went down with injury, 35, 40-ish fantasy points. So I can get down to these two. They should be more owned. Luka will be low owned for a fact. You could definitely mess with that. Maybe Luka goes out here and drops like a 60, 70 point night out here. Matter of fact, I'm going to play one Luka line. Just because one Luka line, just to have that as a late night hammer. Everything else outside of that, Dorian Finney-Smith, he's going to play the minutes. You know, they will run a small ball lineup out there with him. He will be there, but a very low fantasy point per minute producer and very low upside. Vando popped last game in 20 minutes. It is very scary clicking Vando, but right now he's on one. 4 of 7 in back-to-back games. Of course, the Clippers and the Pelicans. If you want to, if you feel the need, like, yo, I got 4,300 left for a 4 spot. That's all I'm going to say. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys were able to get a little something from this. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the breakdown. If you guys did, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and check out all the content and stuff that I got over here. Again, all that's on the membership tab, also on the Patreon. Have a good day, guys. Have a good day. That's all I can say. Good luck to everybody. Peace.